Hello there. So today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named string to integer, atoi. Atoi means ASCII to integer, and it's a very popular function implemented in a lot of math frameworks. The task is medium, and we are asked to implement a function which converts a string to a 32-bit signed integer. The algorithm should be next. We must ignore any leading white spaces. We must determine the sign by checking if the next character is minus or plus, assuming positivity if neither present. We must read the integer by skipping leading zeros until a non-digit character is encountered or the end of the string is reached. If no digits were read, then the result must be 0. And finally, if the integer is out of 32-bit signed integer range, then we must round the integer to the remain in the range. Specifically, integers less than minus 2 in the power 31, which is the minimal value, must be rounded to this minimal value. And the integers greater than maximum, which is 2 in the power 31 minus 1, must be rounded to this maximum. We must return the integer as the final result. There are some examples here and constraints clarifying that, well, string could be empty and string consists of English letters, digits, white spaces, plus, minus, and dot symbols. Okay, so let's start on this problem by creating the index variable because we are going to iterate through all of the characters on our string and we need some kind of index. We are going to start with the start index of our string, and our first task is to skip all the white spaces from this string. So let's do it with the while cycle. So while index is not equal to end index, and the characters at these indexes are equal to empty space, then we are going to just increase the index by using method index after on our string. Great, so we just skipped all the white spaces. Let's check that there is something remaining in our string by checking our current index. So if it is equal to the end index, which is already out of bounds of any character, then we've reached the end of the string and could return 0. Our second task is to determine the sign of our integer. So let's create the Boolean value is sign positive, which is also could be nil, so it's going to be optional for the case when we don't find any sign in our string. So we are going to check our current character. It could be either plus, in this case the sign positive is going to be true. It could be minus, in this case is going to be false, and in any other cases it's going to be nil. Nice. Let's check if there is anything in this variable after all. If so, it means that there is some kind of sign here, minus or plus, and we could skip this character and proceed to the next one in the string. Finally, we could start work on our result by compounding all the digits to some kind of variable. So we are going to start another while cycle to iterate through the string. So while index is not equal to end index, we will try to get digits of from our strings. So if we would try to convert these characters to integer, well, it's going to fail on compilation. Fortunately, there is no way to do that. So we're going to add additional conversion to the string. So when the index would be equal to end index, was basically when the end of the string is going to be reached, or when the conversion would fail, which means that it's a non-digit character in the string, then the cycle would end and we could just return the result here. As for iterations of this cycle, we first need to skip all the zeros which are leading our integer. So to do this, let's check that our result is still 0 and the digit is 0. So if this is false, then we could proceed to handling of this digit. Otherwise, well, if it's true, we could go to the next index straight forward. Nice. So how we are going to handle each digit? So depending on the sign, so if is sign positive, if false, we are going to decrease our result. Otherwise, we are going to increase it. So what are the things we should do with our result? We shouldn't just add or reduce the digit to the result. Before that, we need to shift everything to the left. And to do that, we need first to multiply the result by 10 and only then modify the remainings with the digit. So yeah, our final task is also to check for the 32-bit range. So let's do that. If result is greater than int 32 max, then we are going to return the int of the int 32 max. Else, if the result is going to be less than int 32 min, then we are going to return this minimum value. Looks great, but we should also remember that the int itself could be the int 32, and in this case these computations could fail. So let's use the int 64 type instead for the result and for the digit to make these lines work properly. And now we need to convert the result to the expected integer value after all. Also, when we are checking for minimum or maximum value, we should also check it with the int 64. Great. Finally, let's check for any compilation issues. No issues so far, and let's submit our solution. Cool. As you see, it is executed almost instantly. The execution time actually stays on the edge of the threshold. That's why it shows 0 milliseconds, and it beats 100% of other submissions. And that's it for today. If you'd like to see me solving other LeetCode problems, then put your request to the comment section, and see you next time. Cheers!